like a snake. I don't think Ali's ready for this. I wish we could do a kickboxing match, to be honest with you. And in 10 years, I will go up for president. And I want this video to exist so everybody knows my plan.
People are going to think this is a studio, and it's not a private jet. Is it a private jet?
I think it's a studio.
No? We're not in the air right now?
We're not in the air, we're in the studio.
You set me up, bro.
People scream my name to just get a photo. Women come up to me and tell me that I'm the greatest man. And how sad is it for other men that when I walk into a room, they feel intimidated. Whether it is physically, mentally, or emotionally because their wife is staring at me. When I tell somebody you're broke, the only ones that get upset is the ones that see me with a fucking Rolls Royce in the background, a $12 million home, traveling the world, flying private jets, doing whatever it is that I want to do. And they know that they are so lazy that they'll never actually get up and try to do the same thing that I'm doing.
Well, guys, here we go once again with the most delusional lolcow on the internet, and a man that has managed to constantly spew out so much downright horse shit that he himself is even starting to believe his many different lies. So naturally, we are talking about the one and only Bend Over Azoulay, aka the downright fucking goober who is creating a new backstory every time a camera somewhat appears in his area code. And you see, little old Benny boy here has really been on one over the past week and a half, where instead of just creating stories and doing a lot of his typical nonsense where he's just making up things that make him sound like the baddest man on the planet, he decided that he was going to go on what I can only consider to be a multi-week crash out, all for the pure reason that his wife ended up leaving him because he could no longer stay with her, but instead needed to pursue his career as a lolcow. And that was his reason. That's not me just making that shit up. He literally said that he couldn't stay with his wife because he had more important things to do with his online persona. And during this crash out, we watched him in my last video go after people like John Bravo, Greg Doucette, and JD Delay. And a lot of it was the typical bullshit where he was just saying shit without showing any type of evidence and was just doing a whole lot of yapping. And he naturally paired all of this with him driving around on the road having a mental breakdown and freak out where he was claiming to be half man, half god, and was trying to have what he called an impact on the youth, when in reality the only impact that was made was the impact that occurred in his shorts when he proceeded to just shit himself.
I don't give a about anything. I don't even give a about watching the road. You have to understand, I'm not a man. I'm half man, half god.
And as I'm sure you can tell, our last couple videos have really been quite the experience as we've gone through this crash out and just observed all of this occur. But it seems that good old Bendover was nowhere near done. And in the time since my last video, he was not only keeping up the whole half man, half god thing, where he was claiming that he is a messenger from God, and that when he's talking it just comes to him like this message, and he's basically implying that he's a prophet.
And you have a choice, either speak good stuff or bad stuff. Everything I say is just truth, honesty, and motivational to try to get people to do better. So I feel like I'm a messenger of God. A lot of the times when I say stuff and I get into this flow state, I feel like it's not me speaking, it's God speaking through me.
And along with this whole little delusional God speaking through him thing, where he thinks that he's just a straight up prophet to this generation, which is really just quite the thing for this goober to be saying, considering that he is constantly making jokes about the whole she was 15 thing, and was also constantly lying and just making up some of the most absurd stories that we've ever fucking heard. But on top of this, when he hasn't been claiming to be half God or a great messenger of God, he's also posting little videos like this one right here that I'm assuming he thinks is motivational, but in reality it's just goofier than fuck, because he's talking about fighting demons before then dropping what he is trying to make his new little catchphrase, and it's just so damn corny.
But we have to fight demons. Some of us fight these demons and some of us don't. A lot of us run away from the demons. But when demons chase you in the middle of the night, at some point in time you gotta fucking turn around, stand strong, face them, never fear fear, become fear, so fear himself will fear you.
So yeah, obviously Honestly, he's just really feeling himself, and the god complex and huge ego just keeps growing by the day. And with it, his responses to all of the supposed haters and people who called him out for his bullshit is also continuing to go on. And he decided that he yet again needed to make another response video, but this time it was addressing the little MMA incident where he ended up running and leaving because he was worried about getting his ass kicked by a couple of guys there who recognized him and were basically calling him out for the whole little incident with the 15-year-old. And this must have been living in Bendover's head rent-free for the past couple of weeks, and he just had to respond to it and just had to do anything and everything to try to save face and to continue to look like just a badass.
So a couple of weeks ago, I was over in Vegas, and an incident happened at a very small organization. They called it the UFC, kicked out King Azoulay. I know it wasn't the UFC. As you guys have seen, I've been to the UFC, and I say hi to Dana. I was also with Dana gambling, so it wasn't the UFC. But it was a small organization that invited me to come out and promote them. While I got there was a gentleman, older guy, with another guy, two bald-headed, egg-looking motherfuckers who I didn't know. But obviously, they knew who I was. So the old guy said some to me. And that's after I was already there, going around, showing the organization and stuff like that. And hi to the owner, people showing me love. And this guy confronted me about some fake news. So what did I do? Step right into his face and wanted to see what he was going to do about it. You know what he did? Like a little fucking go to the security and said that he fears for his life. So to please get me out of there. So when the security came and asked me to leave, said that there's a gentleman, a low life, said that he feels threatened for his life. I said, okay. I came to support the organization. It is on the verge of shutting down. They're called Tough Enough. So I'll leave. So all of my boys left with me. Big deal. When you're not wanted somewhere, guess what you do? You leave. I am the king, not them. I came to help. So I had a call with the owner after, and this is what he had to say.
I really appreciate your time and coming to the fights. And again, forgive me for that fucking bullshit. She's not allowed back. We're going back to the girl that was running the floor before her. Okay.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Said obviously that he's firing the girl who spoke to the security to get me out. And these two egghead looking motherfuckers are not allowed back into the organization, as you heard him speak. And clearly what you guys have seen on the internet isn't that true, because now you know the true story. The little guy didn't do anything except call security. He had the chance. I was right in front of his face. I put my face so close to him. He felt threatened. I would have broken both of their faces right there. But no, we were too many people for that. So just so you guys know the real story, this is exactly what happened.
And you know, Bendover, when we covered this, that is not what the footage showed whatsoever. So it's pretty damn odd that your story is all twisted ass backwards when we can just go look at the footage and see you getting punked and leaving like a bitch. Especially when you were the one leading up to this moment challenging everybody and anyone on the internet to come and fight you.
You already know nobody wants to touch this. Nobody wants to fight. Everybody say they want to fight, but nobody wants to lose.
And then when there's an opportunity in front of you, you end up running to security yourself and leaving, because that's what it looked like happened originally. But on top of this, he then still finds a way to somehow make himself the victim, while also trying to make himself seem like this sacrificial savior that was coming to save this organization, because apparently they were struggling, and they weren't going to be able to do it without the one and only Bendover Azoulay coming in to promote their little fight. Which nobody is believing, because in reality, if this was being pushed as him promoting them, it would have done 10 times more harm than good, and probably would have been one of the worst business decisions that this organization could have even made. And on a side note, you just have to love how now that he is, you know, probably miles and miles away from these guys and not actually at the event with them, he has all types of insults to throw around, like egghead, and has all types of shit to talk. But when he was there in person face to face, I didn't see any of that energy whatsoever. So clearly, this is a whole lot of cope and bullshitting, because he was embarrassed and just looked like a bitch, like, let's be honest. But he was still not done for the week, because along with this bullshit, his wife leaving him must still be hitting him pretty damn hard, because he went onto his little Telegram and posted a video where he thought only his glazers would be seeing it, with the keyword being thought, because unfortunately for little Ben, even though he didn't post it on his Instagram, we have a Saints Mafia and Bubba Army member who was able to get this video, and the beginning of it started out like this, where it was very doom and gloom, and he's just talking about how your kids aren't going to look up to you, and you're not going to get the woman you want, and society is a lie.
Since we were born, we've been told a lie. We have. We've been told that life is about marriage and children, having a family, protecting a woman who needs to be protected. Go out there, work a job. You'll be able to sustain a good life. But that was all a lie. And we found that out now. Now we know it more than we've ever known it. That woman that you want to marry, we both know she's with someone else at the moment. The children you want to have are not going to appreciate you because they'll be raised by the system.
And even though this is how it started off, this entire little dumbass video basically just started turning into a little glaze fest for good old Bendover, where he could not only glaze himself, but could also get glazed by all of his little followers on Telegram. And it just gives you an insight of what it must be like to be a Bendover Azoulay meat rider, where you get to watch him brag about his house and his car, and you get to watch him talk about how the only thing that isn't fake is him winning, which he is always winning, and how he walks into rooms and he feels bad for other men because they're not as great as him.
Right now you're sitting on my Rolls Royce. Yep. My fucking mega mansion. But I can tell you one thing that is real. Is the feeling of winning. When I feel like I'm winning, that is the only real feeling that I have. Besides pain, which you have to go through the pain while you're winning. Right? You're building up there. But winning is literally the best feeling in the world. I can't tell you where I'm at today in life. Being recognized every single place that I go. People scream my name to just get a photo. Women come up to me and tell me that I'm the greatest man they've ever heard speak. I have all the money that I need. I help others every single day. I'm extremely fit. Now you're going to look at me and say, you know what, this guy is being cocky. He's being arrogant. No, I'm being real. Imagine this. Every single room I enter, I know I'm the best. I know I'm the strongest. I know I'm the most dangerous man in there. I know nobody could take on me. How good do you think that feels? And how sad is it for other men that when I walk into a room, they feel intimidated? Whether it is physically, mentally, or emotionally because their wife is staring at me. Or possibly wants a photo. Don't you want to be that man? The man that walks into a room and everybody admires?
And right when you think that this fucking clown just couldn't get any more delusional or any more ridiculous, he's out here actually believing these things and actually believing that when he walks in another room, men are just staring at him depressed because they're getting beat in every plane of existence, and their wives are just sitting there wishing that they could hop on the Bendover Azoulay cock immediately. And the craziest part is, his opinion of himself and how others view him couldn't be any more ass backwards, because most people view him as either a PDF file or just as a clown who can't cope with reality, so he constantly makes up shit to try to make himself look cooler. And you know, to some extent he has to believe this shit, because it's not like he's posting this public for rage bait. He was posting this in his Telegram for his most loyal viewers and his most loyal meat riders. So this guy is just mentally gone at this point, and the ego has gotten so out of control that this is where we're at. And along with this video, he had one other thing that we need to discuss that he had recently posted, which was a video where he is basically trying to change the public opinion and trying to do another little rebrand, and is honestly probably just posting it to make himself look good. But it's a video that he posted where he was discussing how he couldn't see his son anymore, and he ends up going on kind of this little tangent about how he's doing all of this on the internet for his son's sake, before then just divulging into some more insane delusional bullshit about how he's going to become the president and how men go through a lot of pain and how he used to be like a little boy with blonde hair. And I don't even know where the fuck it was going half the time, but it was just more cope and more of him trying to manipulate anybody to be on his side.
And 3 years ago, I got on the internet, so he will know who his dad is. So one day he will be my fan to say to his mom, I want to be like King Azoulay. And his mom's going to look at him. She's going to have to say, son, you will, because that's your real father. I'm making these videos so one day he'll be able to look back and see that all of this was for him. Men go through a lot. We really do. We go through a lot of suffering. I've learned something, and I've learned it through a lot of personal experiences. I know on the internet some of you guys see me as the bad guy. I'm not sure why. Maybe because I act strong, act tough. You got muscles, tattoos, a beard. But I want you to see that when I was a little boy, I was a blonde little guy with long hair, and everybody thought I was a girl. I was the sweetest little boy, just like my son. But I've been through a lot, and I've been betrayed many, many times. And most of the times it was by women. Took from me one son and granted me 1 million. 1 million. That's how many kids all around the world look up to me, not in the millions. See me as a father figure. See me as an older brother. Unc. You guys don't know the pain I go through. You don't know the suffering. You don't know what's going on with me. And that's also the price we pay. As strong men, no one has ever asked me how I'm doing. Ever. Nobody cared. Because I'm strong, I can handle anything. They come to me for strength. That's the sad truth, but it is what it is. Doesn't matter how many people stab you in the back. Doesn't matter how many times you fail, you fall, you crash. They believe that you're perfectly fine. So I want you guys to know, in the next year, I will do everything in my power to become the most famous person on the planet. So I can use that influence and help people and help the youth become better. In 24 months, I will become a billionaire. So I could take that money and feed orphans and take care of them and give them better education and housing. And in 10 years, I will go up for president. And I want this video to exist so everybody knows my plan. And when I do it, just like I said 3 years ago, I was going to become the man that I am today. You will see this 10 years from today, when I become the president of the United States. You guys can laugh now, but you'll have something to look at to remind yourself that when King Azoulay says he's going to do something, he does it.
And you can even tell by the whole little orphan segment that this appears to clearly be some type of PR message to try to gain some type of public favor, because I've never heard this man talk about orphans before or any of that, and I don't know why he has to be a billionaire to start helping orphans, and why he just can't do it now, because according to him, he's apparently a multi-millionaire, but I guess he's got to wait till he hits 1 billion before he can help them. And then of course, there's no way in hell this goober's gonna become the president, but yeah, the delusion just continues to go on. But with that said, that's enough of good old Bend Over for one day. So if you enjoyed, please drop a sub and a like and join the Saints Mafia, where we are flaming all of these clowns. And I'm out, watching Bend Over Azoulay try to become the president, and peace.
Believe me, I wish sometimes I could just come and give everyone one big hug. And I've been wanting to do a meetup for a long time. I just haven't done it because weird people like threaten my life. Oh, you're Israeli, we're coming to take you out.